because you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Nope, you're not. I like coffee. So there you go.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Business Briefs with Gerja. So today, as usual, we have legal and business bite-sized tips for you so that you can level up your business and take it to new accomplishments and new goals. And we have an amazing guest with us today, Zaylee Barclay. She is a visual content creation coach and a think expert for online course creators. I am extremely happy to have her on today. She will share all of her knowledge with us and also give us some great advice. So welcome, Zaylee.
Hi, gorgeous. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really excited about the questions that you're going to ask and just diving deeper into how I can help.
Yeah, I mean, first tell us in your 60-second elevator pitch, what do you do?
I am a video coach at heart. I help people to get really confident on camera, to nurture their audience, to sell to their audience also. Just put all of their knowledge and expertise into a knowledge-based platform. The one that I use and love is Thinkific, and also to market that to your audience, right? I think we're in a time where video is the thing and everyone is wondering, like, how do I stand out in a saturated market? How do I share with my audience what makes me special and different? And just to get all of that done without all of the overwhelm that can come with video or the fear, or, there's so much.
I know. I totally agree with you. I was talking to my team today, and there is a very popular theme in the tasks that are incomplete on my end. And all of that is because of a video that I have to create or videos that I have to create.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm just like, I'll get to it, guys. I'm so sorry. I'll get to it. And I'm just always like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me?
Yes, it's that thing. It's
Because,
like that.
yeah, it is. Sometimes I feel like it's daunting. And sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like, I just don't feel like it today. I'm not feeling that video. There's a lot of things. Now, before we go into the why it's so important, because we all know that it's happening. We all know that this is where it's at, short form videos and all that stuff. But tell me, how did you get into it? How did you start developing the skill sets? And how did you notice this void that you're filling now with your business?
That's a really good question. I've always loved being in front of the camera. Now that I think about it, like, yeah, I've always loved like pictures and, when video became more accessible, because I didn't have the privilege of having like what do you call it? Like, gosh, I can't remember the name of the kind of camera right now. Totally going blank on that. However, I didn't have access to video until smartphones came around. I remember with my little Sprint phone, like doing all the videos and all those things. So I've always loved visuals and videos.
Yeah.
But then I became a beauty blogger, right? I love all things hair and fashion and makeup. And I started doing that. And what I realized was I would get more questions about the quality of my video content. And then I would get questions about what lip is that? Like, what foundation are you wearing and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And so I got really fascinated with, wanting to share just what I was using. And then eventually I started selling courses, right? And selling coaching and really just selling. And I didn't realize that that was such a skill. I think I'm naturally able to just create content and nurture, but I didn't realize it was such an issue for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2015, I started building my business around how to create video content that is magnetic, that really gets an audience to recognize you, understand how you can help, and stick with you, and then buy from you. So I realized that these were skills that I was picking up along the way of my own journey.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in 2023, years later. And I remember in 2015 saying, guys, you need to get on camera. It's going to be so essential in the future. Well, now we're in the future, right? Hello. And everything is video. So
oh my gosh, absolutely. And back then, 2015, that was still a very innovative thought process on your end, because even if people are on video, it was still a very scary space. It didn't seem as accessible as it is today. Today, it's like, boom, okay, let me take a video and, post it on TikTok or whatever. And a few things stood out to me. One is that sometimes we start the journey in one space, but then as we're listening to our audience, as we're listening to the community, we also realize that there's space to move into another area where you can thrive even more.
Yeah.
And two, the gifts that we take for granted are actually not gifts for everybody. In the sense,
Yes.
they're not innately there as a talent, and they
Yeah.
might have to develop it more. And so your gift, you're gifting others too, which is really important for us to remember that.
Yeah, you're so right. Like the thing that you think is so easy and so like exciting and effortless to someone else, it's really a daunting task.
Hmm.
And so just thinking about ways that you can break that down and help that person get from point A to point, whatever point they're trying to get to.
Exactly, exactly. And it seems like everybody can become an educator now just by
Yes.
the, again, accessibility has opened up many, many doors
Yes,
to many people. But I think it's okay to be an educator in a space that is, you're naturally very good in also, or you've poured
definitely.
in a lot of love and effort and, in strength building that space as well. And sometimes I know for myself also, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs, we build our platform and our business based on some of the things that we love to do or where the
Yeah.
passion might be igniting for us. And also sometimes we might feel, well, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah,
But again, going back to what we were talking about, that's not true. So don't be shy and,
definitely not.
give your gift to others out there. So speaking of your gift of videography and content creation, so now you've started courses and now you're coaching also here in 2023. Why is the video or using the video tool in your business so important?
Well, it's just that connection, right? So
Mhm.
I like to say back in the day, we would have door-to-door salesmen, right? I mean, that was the way that you would shop, or from catalogs or from QVC. Like we can see that graduation of like,
Yeah.
just how things have been progressing throughout the years. But with video, we're no longer as much in person as we used to be,
Yeah.
right? So now
Yeah.
we have to depend on some kind of medium to take our customer through the full process of a sale, right? So from someone who has never met you before all the way to, please take my credit card and give me whatever it is that you're offering. And so the fastest way to do that is with video content and getting on camera. So if you're thinking about starting a business, or if you started already and you feel like, I know that I can make so much more of an impact, or I can sell so much more, or something is missing here, get on camera and start nurturing your audience, start sharing content, start getting people to know you, love you, and trust you. And things will definitely start shifting from there.
Gosh, that is so important. It's getting to know the person behind the business.
Yeah,
And I think, 2020 taught us anything is that we can do virtual a lot. Even though I personally love in person, I think there's a whole nother dynamic and energy shift happening in person that doesn't
true.
happen on video. But the video, again, grants us access to people who would never have known us. What about those business owners, though, that feel like video is not going to help us in our industry? We're not the video industry. And, for example, I'm in Houston, Texas. We're very heavy in the health space
Yeah.
and also very heavy in oil and gas. And so we have a lot of corporate, companies here and of all kinds. What would you say to them about the video? Should we only use video for social media or can we use video in other forms in our businesses?
No, which is why I teach. So I teach externally, like video just for marketing, but I also teach internally, right? Like for courses, for whether it's webinars or, things that you're doing that are really just sales focused. I think video is such a powerful tool. I remember one of my clients, she's been a client for years, but when 2020 happened, she was so ready. She was so camera ready that when the rest of her corporation finally got on camera, she knew how to shine. She knew how to command the camera. She knew how to speak. And everyone else was in such shock of like, wait, like, who are you? What have you? And so she was able to start climbing within the company because of
Mhm.
how confident she was on camera. So I know that it's a skill that's really transferable. And listen, everyone is looking to climb. So even if you're, in the boardroom or in meetings all the time, When you start commanding the camera, commanding the room that you're in, people are going to start paying more attention to you and
Mhm.
start mentioning your name in rooms that you would never even think about. Opportunities come up. They know, oh, she's a person for that. So, I'm getting so excited. So I think that,
I love it. Yeah.
yeah, it's such a transferable skill and it could be used anywhere. And listen, when I was in college, we read The World is Flat, which was a book about the internet. And now we're living in all of that, but the world is flat. And so we're always speaking to people in other countries,
Yeah.
teams that are just all over the world. Like, yeah.
We are so integrated globally that it is hard to escape it now. And if
Yes.
you're not here in this world, you are a dinosaur.
That
This is
part.
like literally been my favorite phase of the past few months. I don't want to be a dinosaur.
Exactly. I'm actually picturing a dinosaur now. That is hilarious. But yes, you're so right.
I agree. I think there was a part of me initially when I first started getting on video. I'm like, oh, I'm a lawyer. This is so weird. I'm like, my credibility is going to go down.
No, it's going to go up.
I agree. And I agree because that's exactly what you just said. When you start getting on video, you're sharing with people you would have never shared with otherwise. You're
Yeah.
reaching audiences and communities that you would have never reached otherwise.
Yes.
And so you become the forefront of their mind because you're
Yeah.
talking and they're seeing your videos. And
Yes.
for those that are in the super professional space, right?
Yeah.
We're all professionals, but the ones that are like in the super professional space where everybody's suited and booted and all that good
Yeah.
stuff is happening. What would you say to them when they're kind of like trying to break through that? Well, I won't look sophisticated or I won't look
Yeah.
credible or I am undermining my professionalism right now. What would you say to them?
I would say, I don't care what suit you're wearing or what suit the people around you are wearing. We are all people. And we tend to put people on like a pedestal and think, oh my gosh, Joe has got it all together. He's so eloquent. But Joe is also thinking about tripping up over his words. And Joe is also the night before preparing for that presentation like crazy. Like we're all humans at the end of the day. And I think what video tends to do is bring out how human we all are. And so I would encourage you to, of course, prepare, but there are elements of being a human that people will definitely relate with. The
Mhm.
other thing I would say is we have the issue of, we all have this issue, I feel like just trying to please everyone in a room or, trying to connect with everyone and I think, especially when we're speaking and on camera, and I think that it's just essential for us to also realize that we're not able to please everyone or connect with everyone or touch everyone. So touch one person.
Mhm. 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 That's great advice because you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Nope, you're not. I like coffee. So there you go.
Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna like shift a little bit and ask you if someone's just starting out, like if there's a listener out there that's just like, okay, I feel inspired by you. What do I do now? Like, what are some of the first steps?
I mean, the first step is I like to say, like, know your purpose, right? So why are you getting on camera? What is the purpose of you getting on camera? What is the purpose of your business? And also, what is the purpose of this specific video? Right? Like, I think it's really important for us to like hone in and think about purpose, whether it's overall purpose of, I really want to help people elevate themselves on this online business journey, tap into their confidence overall. But also in this video, the purpose of this video is for me to leave someone feeling so confident about themselves and their journey and storytelling. And so if I know what that purpose or intention is, I'm way more likely to record that video because now I'm like, oh, so even for you, like, what is your video about that you're supposed to record?
Mm-hmm.
Think
Yeah.
about that and shift your perspective from, oh my gosh, I don't want to record this video to how can I serve the person who is going to be looking at this video?
I think that's a great idea, actually. Just like just even that little 5 second, not even split second exercise of just shifting that rather than just thinking, oh, it's another video I have to make, but
Yes.
you're actually like, how am I adding value? Like the person that's going to
Yeah.
be seeing this, they're getting value. And
Yes.
what is that value? And that's the purpose. And that's what's driving me to make that video rather than another task on my task sheet.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you shift in that way, then you're going to start feeling more excited about what you're creating. Because what you've done is you shift just the pressure off of
Yeah,
yourself and you turned it into something like we all want to help. I feel like naturally as people, we all want to help others.
yeah.
So, just being able to tap into the purpose is really
Mhm.
powerful.
Gosh, and then, when we are making videos, what are some videos that we should always have in our repertoire of videos? Are there
Yeah.
some like must-haves, or like what would you start with? Like if you had to make 5 videos today, what
Yeah.
would those 5 videos be about?
That's a really good question. It really depends on where you are in your business, to be really honest. But I would say if you're a beginner, every time I work with someone that I know nothing about, like I am so excited. I'm like, why isn't there a video on YouTube telling us about who you are and your story and journey? So that's the first one that I feel like people definitely need to share, because as consumers, we're always looking for a way to relate to someone. So you just said, I'm in Houston, Texas. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in Dallas. But I tried to hide my, excitement, like, oh my gosh. So, I found something,
Texas.
right? I found something relatable and I pulled it out. And so that's helping me to get to know you even more. I didn't know
Yeah.
that before we got onto this call or this video. So essentially, what can you share that is relatable to the person that might be watching, your ideal client avatar or customer avatar? Like, what can you share that's relatable to that
Yeah.
person? Right.
Yeah.
So your story for sure. Also, like, let's say the 3 pains that your customer might be experiencing all the
Mhm.
time. I think a lot of us are not putting our expertise out there because we're so nervous.
Yeah.
Right. But if I really have a pain, how do I know that you're the person that's going to solve that problem?
Mhm.
I think it's really important to put videos out that are connected to the pain that your person is experiencing, or just being the solution to,
Mhm.
the problem that that person might be having. And I would always say, whether it's within those videos or, just a video in itself, give your perspective, because I want to know if I want to stick around or not. I'd rather know earlier in the journey than later
Mhm.
on.
Okay,
Right.
what do you mean by
So
that?
I believe in polarity. I believe in, for example, maybe I don't like Texas, right? And so I say I love Texas, by the way. I don't want to get kicked out. But I'm just, trying to think about like something. So for example, polarity is really important. I like picking a side because I do believe that an audience is looking to follow someone that has a strong belief, right?
Mhm.
So I might say, hey guys, honestly, I'm gonna be real honest here. Short form content is popular right now, but I'm a believer of long form content because I feel
Mhm.
like you don't have to pack a bunch of information into a 60-second video that someone might scroll past. One, two, I'm a business owner with a YouTube channel, right? I'm not a YouTuber with a business. So then I
Yeah.
need to create content strategically, meaning I need to create content for a specific person in my audience that is helping them to accomplish something that I can then further that journey, right? Whether it's getting onto my email list or working with me one-to-one or getting into one of my courses or programs, I need to be creating content that is around that.
Mhm.
So when I start sharing perspective and start being polarizing and sharing like how I feel about something like short form or long form content, then that person knows, okay, this is the person to help me to do that
Yeah.
specifically. One, but two, I can get behind what she's saying. I kind of like that. I've been feeling an inkling that short form content is great, but honestly, when I look at what I'm doing, I'm scrolling past all of the goodness. I may not be subscribing or buying from the people that I find, so
Yeah.
that's just what I mean.
I think that's great though, having the story, having the polarity also.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is a method to the madness of having something that is an unpopular opinion, because guess what? People like to see stuff like that too. It
They
attracts
do. They
them.
definitely do. Yes. And I think it's okay to have people agree with you or not agree with you. And the faster you learn that that is okay, the better you'll be built for this video journey, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's awesome. So just to kind of recap, I think we talked about 3 different types of videos so far.
Mhm.
We talked about your story.
Yes.
and then the three pain points, and then also a polarizing opinion, or just like an opinion where you stand left or right, like there's
Yeah.
just no in between. Are there any other beginning videos that you would suggest also?
Yeah, I think starting off with those three kinds of videos is a great way to get started and get into the flow of things,
Hmm.
especially for speaking to beginners. Focus on getting those kinds of videos out there, especially if it's search-based content, because that's the best way to get started on YouTube, like with
Hmm.
search-based content or content that is solving a specific problem for your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't like you can get overloaded with videos. I'm not gonna give like a bunch of different types of videos that you
Yeah.
should create and then tell you get on camera and create all of those videos because
Yeah.
that also leads to nothing. I
Yep.
see a lot of people get paralyzed because of all the information that they're
Yeah.
taking in as well,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to something like this, where you're basically putting yourself out there, which is not always the easiest thing to do, right? Like,
Exactly. I feel like what you said about having a purpose and having the mission and then what your
yeah,
outcome is, I think that that is a great way to start anything anyways. And like have and
definitely.
then write them down. I always have an ongoing list of ideas that I start cultivating and adding more to. And then finally when I'm like, okay, this is great, I can sometimes even break that video to 2, 3 videos based on
Yes,
the information I've
exactly.
gathered for myself. And I really liked one thing you said, and it really reminded me of one of the bios that I put out there for myself. And I kind of want to go back and revisit this bio now. But you said that I am not a YouTuber with a business, but I am a business owner with a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that's what I am. But on my bio, it says YouTuber. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means because I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not hanging out on YouTube all day long. That's not what I do. So, can you flesh that out a little bit more for me and
Yeah,
kind of like explain that perspective and how, as a business owner, we should approach then the creation of that video and also marketing it?
definitely. I think for business owners, we're so lucky because we get to work backwards, right? We get to understand exactly who we're serving and create content for those people
Mhm.
specifically. As much as YouTube is doing all the things right now, it is still you can still find things based on search, right?
Yeah.
And so it is tried and true. Recently, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars from YouTube and I only have like 12,000 subscribers right now. So even
A
before
lot.
that, yes. So think about that. I think it's so awesome that you don't have to pressure yourself to get all the subscribers in the world, but what you can do is figure out ways to solve problems
Mhm.
that your ideal customer or client is looking for. When you are a business owner with a YouTube channel, you're able to create content intentionally. You're able to create specific content and you're able to use YouTube as a driver to grow your email list, to book one-to-one, consultations. You're able to work with purpose rather than focusing on going viral.
Yeah. And so for business owners who are on YouTube, and I'm assuming you do have some expertise in YouTube also, what would be the best way to market that and grow? Because you have a lot of followers compared to me. I love it. Like, I'm like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot. And so, how would you market that and how would you grow that? Like, what would be the way to grow your followers?
Yeah, when you're first starting off a YouTube channel, the best thing to do is to create search-based content, right? So let's say you do have a client or a customer and you understand exactly what their pains are, which we kind of spoke about earlier. You're able to create content that that person is looking for. So for example, if I am, let's say, a Thinkific expert, which I am, I'm able to create content based on like, how to build a sales page in Thinkific, how to get your course started in Thinkific, how to pick the best apps for your Thinkific platform, how to sell your online courses on Thinkific. And so, because people are looking for that kind of content, what they're going to do is plug it into Google, right? And
Mm,
so, what they'll find is me as the solution in an interactive video that has purpose, that is planned out, that, I'm able to probably share something for them to join my email list or to buy an online course that I'm working in. So you're able to garner, results in that way. So
yeah.
it's not even about promotion externally, but positioning yourself as the solution.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Gosh, I'm learning so much I'm learning right now. I mean, and you're right. It's about positioning yourself in the right way. And then I think another question that might pop up from there is, well, how do you get on the top of the searches then with Google if, there's like other people that are in there that are also Thinkific experts, or they write that as part of their, words or
Yeah.
keywords. Then how do you become part of the top of the Google search? Like when you get the answers or the
I
results.
mean, there's a lot that goes into that we definitely like. I wish I could like take my mouse and screen share and all of that jazz. But I mean, definitely consistency, right? And if you're
Yeah.
targeting a keyword and you're using that keyword over and over, also making sure that you're creating in a way where it's interactive, people are finding you as a solution. A lot of the people that I work with, when they come in, they're kind of like the only person that's thinking about doing that, right? So one
Mhm.
of my clients was a clinical research assistant. And in searching on YouTube, there were like probably three channels and they weren't consistent. Some of the videos were old, they weren't answering updated for 2020. When we worked together, it was kind of in the time of COVID, things were different. And so she was able to start creating video after video, and we were doing one video a week. But compared to other people in that industry, they're probably not creating as much. I think when you ask that, you're thinking about like, like the beauty gurus, like if everyone is reviewing the same mascara, like how do I get to the top?
Yeah,
But most business owners, most people aren't thinking about using YouTube in the way that I'm sharing. And what happens
exactly.
is you do that research and you look at what's going on the platform first in your industry, and then you're able to, create based on what you have to offer and your differences. And, even though like we might have someone who is a clinical research assistant, she might be doing it in Asia and
Yeah.
you're in the US. There are always going to be, especially based on your story, things that are different that can stand out in your brand and business messaging that is not going to be the same for someone else.
Okay, I'm literally running away with so much information right now. And like, okay, I'm revisiting my bio. I'm gonna go and like research and talk to my entire, team about YouTube and how we're using it and whether it's effective or not. I mean, this is brilliant. All of this information is brilliant. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Thinkific. Can you tell us what it is and
Yeah.
what you do with it?
Yeah, Thinkific is an online course platform. You're able to upload your courses and sell them. And so for me, when I think about online courses, I feel like the core of an online course is your video content. And so, you're able to map your content out and upload it into Thinkific, create it, of course, and upload it into Thinkific and sell it. So there's so many video components there that I'm just like, oh my gosh, it just gets me excited. So I work with people who are looking to create their online courses and they're looking for support through building that curriculum and also like creating that content, putting it into the platform. There's so much that goes into that even before you get to the point of launching and selling.
Mhm.
And I also work with corporations to do the same thing. So I'm very much into content modalities. I'm very much into student experiences. I'm very much into the platform itself and how it works and knowing like what works and what you should and shouldn't do. So I've been doing that for a few years now, and I love just merging the hybrid of video content and creating knowledge-based video content inside of your online courses and then marketing it to sell it.
Goodness, so much. And it's awesome. So with Thinkific, who uses that? Like, who is the ideal client for Thinkific?
Any and anyone. I'm kidding. That's always the wrong answer when you ask about ideal client. So with Thinkific, they have different audiences. Honestly, they have huge corporations that use it. They have huge celebrities. I think Ryan Serhant is a user of Thinkific. He's really into real estate and is also on television. The average person uses it. I've had authors, what else? Educators, just
Yeah.
so there's a vast variety of people that can use the platform and they have different plans to support different purposes on the platform as well.
Oh, wow. And essentially it's for videos that you're creating for online courses. And so
I mean, you don't have to create videos. You can create an online course,
Yeah.
that is more text-based. You can do different things with the platform. I am just a fan of using video to translate your message or
Yeah.
to teach on the platform. I feel like video is such an essential part of being an educator.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend that your course is a hybrid, right? And that it supports people that learn in different ways. Some people learn only with words and they're totally fine with that. But some people might need a video breakdown, or even if I'm teaching yoga, that can't be a text-based course,
Right.
right? Because I have to show you certain things. So
Right. Okay, wow. And so when we're creating educational videos or, online courses that have videos attached to it, well, what is your suggestion? Do you prepare and have like a script and have a whole, setup of video cameras and pictures and lighting and this and that? Or do you just show up like the way we're showing up today? So,
yeah, that's a really good question. I actually have a full course on this. And my theory is that if you're just starting out, you have not made money from your online course just yet, do it like this, right? Now, as you start building, so that's the start phase. And then I have what I call the shoot phase, which is where you've made a few dollars from your online course and you're ready to start investing and, just building a bit more. And so you start investing into more equipment or maybe a coach to help you with certain things, but you've already started. And so what you have done is you can also see some of the mistakes that you made, like, oh my gosh, maybe I should use a microphone and maybe I shouldn't record like when the kids are running around the house, right? So there are different things that you're going to learn along the journey, but just get started with what you have.
yeah,
Also, planning and preparation is really important.
yeah,
Right. So,
absolutely.
yes. So you do want to, it depends on you as a person to where if you really have to depend on full scripts or not. I'm a bullet point girl, but sometimes I do use a full script. So it really depends on what I'm doing and what I'm recording. And so it would be the same for everyone else. I have clients who tell me, listen, I can't remember anything and I need a full script. So I need to use a teleprompter, right? Which you can. And it's really helpful, especially when it comes to education. And you want to make sure that you're saying the right words and things in a specific way. But also, if you're able to bullet point, then do that too. However, I will always say, do not ever record a video without planning. So, yeah.
And then you must have an editor, or you need to edit yourself then.
Either or, yes, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we really talked about the science of showing up through what you were talking about earlier. I know that you've had a talk on HoneyBook about this as well, the video marketing and the science of showing up. Can you just briefly tell us in like a nutshell, what is the science of showing up?
It is really releasing all of the things that might be holding you back, right? But also acknowledging those things. I think a lot of people just outrightly say, Zaylee, I can't do video. I can't get on camera. When you have not actually dissected why you can't get on camera. So is it that you're thinking about what people are going to say about you? Is it that you're so focused on being perfect and having everything turn out perfectly? Like dissecting just what is the thing that might be holding you back? Do you have an issue with just speaking to something that is kind of like a dead box in front of you? And so there are solutions behind all of those things, whether it is that we need to prop a mirror behind your camera so that you see yourself and you feel like, oh, okay, there's a person back there. I can talk to the camera. Or whether it is that you are afraid to be polarizing or share your real thoughts about something. And we got to dive deeper into, well, what were you told as a kid about your opinions, or were you kind of shamed for the way that you thought about things? Or so there's always something that is stopping us. And I think that a lot of us are just walking around making an initial decision of, I am not good on camera, so I'm not going to show up on camera, right? So I think it's really important for you to ask yourself, why am I not showing up on camera? Or what is it that I'm afraid of or nervous about that is the reason why I'm not showing up on camera? Because everyone has different reasons around it.
Yeah.
And then figuring out that thing and dissecting or digging into like, okay, so ask yourself more questions. Ask questions. That is the real key to understanding why you're not showing up, and then making that decision and that commitment, depending on the life you want or your goals or the things that you desire, to break through those things and actually show up. And
Mhm.
also, your mess is such a beautiful part of your message.
Thank
So the thing that is keeping you back, like, be transparent about it. Be like,
you.
for me, essentially, I am from a tiny island in the Caribbean called Trinidad.
Mhm.
And when I first came to this country, I had an accent. And so that was one of the things, like, oh my gosh, you know, because when
By
I
the
get
way,
really
it's a
excited, even
beautiful
now,
accent.
thank you.
Yeah, no, no, I had friends in college from Trinidad, and
Oh
I
my
love the
gosh.
island accent, but I know each island has their own little nuances
Yes.
that differentiate them. But I love them.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Well, I was nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, I am looking to build in an industry where I didn't see other Trinidadians. Essentially,
Yeah.
you know, came here to go to college and was able to, it's just a thing where you do try to sound like as American as you possibly can, right? But for me, I still get excited and everything goes out the window. So, but also I want my audience to understand what I'm saying as well. So slowing down and articulating like
Yeah.
those things, I had to really, especially in a in a world where people like you open your phone and it's just bam, bam, bam. Like people are telling you things so quickly. People are speeding up their content. Like it's insane
Hmm.
for me to like think, well, you know what? Someone is going to sit with me and, wait till I process and, sit with me to take my time and say what I'm saying. But it's true. People will, if they
Yeah.
like your content and they like what you are sharing and they're getting value from it, they will wait for you, like,
Hmm. Hmm.
to articulate yourself. So just
Exactly.
ask yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And just going on to the whole when you're speaking as a speaker, and if you're on stage speaking also, when you speak too fast, you get negative points for that.
Yeah.
Enunciation is everything.
Yes, it
And
is.
so it's okay to slow down regardless of the
Yes,
accent, regardless of the way you pronounce things.
definitely.
You need to just slow down for a little bit because people need to be able to also process what you're saying and follow
Exactly.
along. Like if you speak too fast or if you're mumbling, people can't follow along and then they lose
Yeah.
interest. And so it's really important to enunciate, to slow down
Yes,
and be intentional as well. Silly, you have
exactly.
shared so many things with us today. I'm literally like, I've already made my notes personally on what I need to go back and check on. And then I'm like, okay, well, then I need to do all of this stuff now and like, revamp everything. But it's been such a pleasure having a conversation with you today and then walking away with so much information. It's truly been great. Now, before I say goodbye and thank you, I always like to ask a couple questions and like my, tested questions that I ask. So one of them is specifically for video marketing or video creations, content creations. Is there a resource that's your go-to resource that you can suggest for others to use?
Yeah, if you are a business owner and you're looking to get really clear on how video can work in your business, what kind of content you need to start creating on camera. We kind of spoke about that a little bit earlier, but if you want to deep dive and learn like how video can amplify your business, like I actually give numbers and like break down the numbers of just, how video can really impact your business and change your business and how it has changed my business and transformed my entire life. You can definitely download my video clarity guide and maybe we'll have that link
I'll
somewhere.
have it in the YouTube
Awesome.
notes and all that
Yes.
stuff. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. And then what is your anchor? When things are crazy around you, what holds you steady?
Ah, God. Like definitely tapping into
That's my
spirituality.
answer. Yeah.
Yes, like just like just sitting with yourself and getting really quiet. So tapping into just God and his grace and gratitude. Like a lot of times we're so thinking about the future that we're not processing, that we're living the life that we were praying for
Yes.
just a little while ago or a few years ago. So just centering yourself in God and his goodness is just
Yes.
everything for me.
I completely agree with you, completely. And then how can we connect with you?
I'm at Zaylee Barclay everywhere. And if you're looking to learn more about video, I am official Zaylee Barclay here on YouTube. And you can also find me on Instagram at Brave on Video, because that's what I help people to do. Be brave on camera.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Zaylee. And I'll have all those links and everything on the notes as well. So it'll be easy for anyone to connect with you at that point. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.